Hey, I'm NichBoy, welcome to Pocket for Tuesday, the 12th of July. Today on the show, shadowy marketing, Skatebox 1, and bad games. There's a lot of them. You know, you've watched me play most of them. Alright, here's what's been making headlines, and first up, Shadow of Mordor has fallen under the shadow of scrutiny of the US government. The Federal Trade Commission has proposed a settlement with Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment over deceptive marketing tactics used to promote the successful 2014 title Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. According to the FTC, Warner spent thousands of dollars paying people like PewDiePie to create positive videos for YouTube and Facebook, garnering millions of views. It's not an uncommon practice, but the issue lies in the fact that Warner failed to adequately disclose that the content was sponsored. Which is crazy, because I feel like it should be on the side of Pewds to reveal that. Pewds has an image to protect. We all know that big companies suck and do terrible things. Pewds, though, he's innocent. He needs to protect that precious Pewds image. But it seems like the FTC are more after the big fish, not those sweet, sweet Swedish fish. The only indication that videos were sponsored sat in the description field below the fold. For the uninitiated, below the fold means, well, look, it'll just be easier if I show you. John, leave full screen. Okay, cool. Now scroll down. Further. Further. Yeah, okay. Now click show more. Cool. Okay, so the information was down there somewhere in the show more where no one ever reads. Show more? No, thank you. That's not good enough for the FTC though, and their settlement criteria would stipulate that moving forward, Warner Brothers, quote, clearly and conspicuously disclose any material connection between Warner Brothers and any influencer or endorser promoting its products. The studio will also be responsible for educating influencers regarding sponsorship disclosures, monitoring sponsored influencer videos for compliance, and, under certain circumstances, terminating or withholding payment from influencers or ad agencies for non-compliance. These settlement conditions are open for consideration until the 10th of August, at which point they will finalize the order and Warner will be forced to do what they should have done in the first place. They may also get a fine. Moving on, and Just Cause 3 developer Avalanche Studios just killed a community multiplayer mod for all the right reasons. Well done, Avalanche. Cameron Foote was spearheading a community development effort to bring a multiplayer mode to Just Cause 3. That project has just been cancelled as Avalanche Studios Sweden has offered Foote a job working on current and future projects. It looks like that mod got his foot in the door. Hopefully this is the first step towards an official multiplayer mod coming to Just Cause 3, because that would make John a very happy boy. Because John is not a very happy boy right now because of the work I made him do in that last story. Sorry, John. I promise it won't happen again. Moving on now, and Splash Damage has been purchased by a chicken company. John, I lied! Zoom in! The development team behind the brilliant Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, the remarkably terrible Brink, and the presumably adequate Gears of War 4 multiplayer has been purchased by Chinese chicken company Leao Technologies. Leao are the group that purchased a majority stake in Warframe developer Digital Extremes back in 2014. At the time, they said that asset diversification was imperative as the poultry industry had started yielding paltry returns. Since the acquisition, Digital Extreme seems to have been running smoothly, and we can only hope the same will be true for Splash Damage. Next up, and Paramount Television are bringing Battlefield to the small screen. Well, medium screen, I guess. If phones and monitors are small screens, and cinemas are big screens, then I guess TVs are medium screens. I should have just said they're bringing Battlefield to TV. That would have made much more sense. I'm gonna rewrite this. Paramount Television are bringing Battlefield to small screens. Shit. Electronic Arts has sold the rights to Paramount, who will be partnering with production house Anonymous Content to bring a show based on the Battlefield series to life. No network is on board yet, but Anonymous EP Michael Sugar says that it's an IP primed for long-form adaptation. Whatever you say, Sugar. And finally, a bunch of patches and updates are coming for some big titles. id Software rolled out a Doom patch, which adds support for the Vulkan API. Graphics cards which use the Vulkan tech should see a significant bump in frame rate. Next, and Valve are tweaking Team Fortress 2's casual mode to improve queue times and increase customization options. And Niantic CEO John Hanke has told Business Insider that the company's big focus for upcoming Pokemon Go patches are improving battery usage and introducing Pokemon trading and leaderboards. Good news for Pokemon fans, bad news for that guy whose house accidentally got turned into a Pokemon gym. With that extra battery life, now those kids are never gonna leave your lawn. All right, now it's time for Thing of the Day. The Braille skateboarding crew skate a lot of sweet decks on their YouTube channel, but their latest had the highest teraflop count. The team drilled trucks into the base of an Xbox One and took it for a ride, sadly voiding their warranty.
That sucked.
Alright, now it's talk through time where you suggest a topic and we talk through it. Today's topic comes in from Dan the Suitman, and I'm joined by TV's Bajo.
Nicky Dicky Dido! What a pleasure!
How are you?
I'm good.
Dan the Suitman has written in and has a question. Should bad games not be made? We put down many games and review them as bad, but someone always enjoys them. Would it be better if they didn't pollute our gaming culture, or should they be made for the few that like them?
Interesting.
This is relevant because we play a lot of bad games.
We do.
Yeah.
You know what though, I've realized? It's hard to remember bad games, and it's easy to remember disappointing games. Like when I think, what are the worst games I've played? I think, oh, Watch Dogs 2. That wasn't that bad. It was okay.
You just had higher expectations.
And they were knocked down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But bad games, we play a lot of bad games. Dangerous Golf. Should that have been made?
That is a perfect example because that both combines the expectations and disappointment because, you know, the devs that were making that. I say, no.
No.
I don't think they should have made that game. And it's not just like they should have tried harder. I don't think that game should have been released.
Because it wasn't finished. It didn't feel finished.
It wasn't a game.
No.
It was just basically a tech demo.
Yeah.
So it brings us to this question. Who gets to decide what is a bad game?
Well, think about the developer, right? These guys, they are trying to make money and live to buy food and the things they need to enjoy life.
Good games.
Good games themselves. And they have money and they try and build something. It doesn't work. They can't find the fun. What do?
Yeah.
They have very little choice, really, in the grand scheme of things, because their whole studio can depend on a game. And if it's a bad game, it's like, well, we need to put it out because we can't fix it. They haven't got the money to fix it. They've got to try and recoup some losses so the studio can survive. So if they don't release it, what do they do?
It's almost like that sunken cost fallacy where you go, we've already thrown money at something.
Yeah.
So at this point, we may as well throw more money at it and get it out. And so therefore those games come out. I guess the problem here, and Dan, I feel like I'm kind of in the court that bad games shouldn't be made, but there's no way of policing that because I think in my ideal world, Steam removes 90% of its catalog and it only has good stuff on there.
Yeah.
And all the bad games go to a different website. So say it's like itch.io or something. And that is where all the bad games live. And then if you've made a game and it's there and people are like, no, this is good, it graduates to Steam. And then that way you've got this curated environment because there's no curation in Steam. There's really no curation in like PSN or Xbox Live.
You don't trust the user reviews in Steam?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't trust those reviews that often are out before the game is.
I'm just giving it a 10 to balance out all the zeros. They're my favorite.
And so at that point you can go, okay, I know that there's, you know, X amount of games coming out this week and that all of them are going to be something worth looking at. The problem there is we go into a dictatorship. like who the hell gets to decide what is a good game?
Who gets to decide what is art and what isn't? Well, you know, I think no one actually sets out to make a bad game.
Yeah.
Right? I believe there are probably developers who like need to make something to survive, and that's why we get 7 Transformers games in a row from the same developer.
Yeah, that's
why? Stop it!
And
Stop making bad Transformers games!
Yeah, and that's tied into a whole bunch of other licensing deals and like it's tied to movies and that sort of thing that you go, it's almost, this bad game needs to exist because there's a series of deals that have happened behind the scenes in order to make the movie happen. Like,
but you know, no, I think all artists start making bad stuff, right? And when you've got 200 artists in a room for 4 years trying to make one thing, the first one's probably going to be awful.
Yeah, absolutely. And that one of the great things about game development at the moment is that it's so easy to get into compared to how it was. That you can just use your laptop to make a video game. And so you can also teach yourself. And then when you make something, even if it's terrible, you're kind of proud of it and you want to put it out there.
Yeah.
And then when you put it out there, people will critique it. You can learn from that experience and start making good things. Everyone starts making bad things at the beginning, so you kind of need to go through those growing pains.
You know, I used to do a bit of programming, and I never made a video game.
Yeah.
But I did do some mods for Duke Nukem 3D.
Did you?
I made a mod where you had this level that was a giant washing machine full of miniature pigs. And it was terrible, but I was so proud of it. I made everyone at school play it.
And the terrible thing is that I would have crushed young Bajo's dreams by not letting that on my Steam platform at all. Okay, so I guess everyone's opinion of what a bad game is different, but there are some truly bad games out there that probably should never have been made. Full stop, everyone agrees.
Yes.
What are some of those that you've reviewed?
Deathly Hallows, the Harry Potter
one?
Part 2.
Yeah.
Why?
What, was
It
there
was
there
so
was a
bad.
part 1?
There was apparently. I don't even remember it because Part 2 destroyed my brain.
It's shit.
So yeah, almost every movie game.
Yep.
We could also mention.
Yep, just put those in a big bundle.
Yeah, and
Except that Ghostbusters one.
that Ghostbusters game was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Except that was probably more original story than
It
based on a
was.
film.
It-
but that was a
they
good
called
one.
it like the third film because everyone came back for it. Back to bad games.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of kind of very, very mediocre bad kind of shootery games. There was a spat of them. Anything kind of with like 4 or 5 letters, like Brink.
Yes.
Haze.
Yeah, Haze.
Fuse maybe. Fuse seems like it was in that category. I may have liked Fuse. I can't remember, but it seems right. Also Star Fox.
Yeah.
Why did you make a game a shadow of its former self that was already 20 years old? Make it better or don't do it. Let it crash and burn. Don't make me cry.
No.
And all the other Nintendo fanboys and girls out there who are crying into their controllers, ruining their Wii's or Wii U's or whatever the hell it was on. I don't even remember. I'm so upset about it.
They've moved on to phones now, that's how bad that was. But I think we can both agree that no one person should wield the power of saying this is a bad game and it should not come out.
Just Steam reviews.
Just Steam reviews. And developers, look into your heart. Know that you should never have put Star Fox out. Trust your instincts. All right, that is it for today's episode of Pocket. My Pocketeers! Let me know in the comments if you have ever enjoyed a bad game and do you think bad games should exist at all. Should we create some sort of curated system? Yes, we should. Let me know how to do it. That's what I want to know in the comments. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking to Goose about the IMO.
Oh yeah,
But you can check out Good Game on Facebook, YouTube, and iView.
I can.
Want to meet fellow Pocketeers? Then join the Pocketeers Facebook group and Steam group. You can follow Good Game on Twitter at Good Game TV. Follow Pocket at NichBoy, at Pierre, at GG, at Monkey, and at Samgate. He's at Bajo Pants, and there are links to everything I just said in the description below. Today's Thing of the Day graphic was made by Luke Van Edie. If you've made a thing, please send it in. Tonight,
Yes.
Good Game.
On the show on ABC2 at 8:30 p.m.
Correct.
ABC's secret channel.
Yep.
We have Inside.
Yep.
From the makers of Limbo, which I know you've played on Pocket.
Adored it.
Oh, it's so good!
Yeah.
Also, Dead by Daylight, which, looking at the trailer, was like, this is going to be terrible. Awesome! Really fun!
I did not get to play in this because I was moving house at the time. The big multiplayer session that
We
you
had
were
a good
doing for
sesh.
the review, that sounded crazy.
You know
I
what
was so jealous.
The scariest thing, right? Like, I was role-playing a bit. I'm like, I'm gonna get you. You know, like creepy stuff. But then Hex comes on, and she's like, I'm gonna find you. Just talking normally.
No, that's
and it was more terrifying.
I've always said, Hex, terrifying person, full stop. And then also in the episode, I have a first play of a game called Lost Sea. So check all that out.
What does the C stand for?
No, it's like the ocean.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not like Lost Vitamin C or Lost Carl. It's just the ocean is gone
Where
for
are
some
you,
reason.
Carl? That game should have been made.
8:30 p.m. ABC2. Good game. All right, that is it for today's episode of Pocket. Until tomorrow, NichBoy out.
Roger. Until next time. Oh, Nicholas. Why are you so ridiculous?